Hello everyone and welcome back to RIZE Racing League. We are here with our Division 2 drivers here in Spa. As you can see, the weather looks pretty good for Belgium. No rain just yet, although we may see that change as we progress through qualifying and into the race. While we wait on our drivers coming out of the pits, let's just give a bit of a recap on where we are at in the standings. Division 2, it is a tightly contested league. Looking at our constructor standings, we have McLaren top spot, have kept it for a number of weeks now. AMG Speeds and R8 Storms both have been really consistent over the past few races. AMG Speeds has absolutely pulled off some fantastic strategies in terms of tower management. So that has put McLaren in top spot with 237 points. Williams just behind with 231 points. They have equally had some solid performances. Hans, the Williams driver, has been absent for the past two races. However, he does make his comeback tonight in Spa, and hopefully he can have a very good race, because equally from a driver's championship point of view, he was in a really nice spot near the top, and because of his absence he has dropped down to joint third. He is a couple points off the top spot now, but there is still plenty of time for him to make a comeback. We are only coming up to halfway through the race season. We have plenty of opportunities left to score points. Following the Williams, we do have a contested battle between Red Bull and the sister team AlphaTauri. Red Bull on 185 points and AlphaTauri on 182 points. Very close, just 3 points separate them. Going back to the Drivers' Championship, CAS 420, AlphaTauri driver is top of the leaderboard with 135 points. He leads R8 Storms, the McLaren driver, on 111 points. Joint third is the Red Bull of Dirty Chewbacca and the Williams of Hans, and his Williams teammate Mecha84 is just below him in 5th place with 84 points. 10 points separates that second Williams driver and Acerp in the Haas, who is just ahead of DXT Viper, the Mercedes, where there is a 3-point difference. Very tightly contested both in the constructors and also the drivers' championship. So let's go on board with KR12, Ferrari driver for tonight, as he makes his way down to La Source. Turn 1, very tight right-hander. Just hits the apex there really nicely as he starts his first flying lap off the session. Making his way up to Eau Rouge and Radion. And his lap has been invalidated there, just didn't get it a bit right. Coming through those two corners, it is really tricky to get right. Going on board now with I the Best Don't Mess. He is also on a flying lap. His lap hasn't been invalidated as he makes his way down the Kemmel Straight. So far, so good for the Mercedes driver. And he's making his way through Sector 2 down the hill. You can see there's a lot of hills here in Spa, upwards and downwards. And actually, I the Best Don't Mess is doing a really solid job of keeping that Mercedes under control. He makes his way into Sector 3. It's a very long lap indeed. And down to the bus stop chicane. Final corner. Back on the par. nicely under control, and the first lap time we get on the board is a 1:46.3. Tom Tarka comes in second with a 1:48.4, a couple seconds off the best don't mess, so he may need to go again. AMG Speeds comes through with the 1:45.4. That is a great time from the McLaren driver, who just pips the best don't mess for the top spot for now. But things can absolutely change as we make our way through the session, and McLaren currently 1-2 R8 Storms, the 1:45.4. Hunter 55 comes through with a 1:44.1. He's absolutely put in a fantastic lap there for the Alfa Romeo driver. The other McLaren driver, Luxie, coming around sector 3 heading towards bus stop chicane. It looks like we have our first retirement of the session as well. It's SYM in the Haas. Has not had a chance to post a lap time. He is our first retiree and will not progress through the rest of qualifying. Luxie, a 1:44.8, not a bad time at all. RKA25, the Aston Martin driver, had a solid race last week and currently in second place. Very, very close between RKA and Hunter, both on a 1:41.1. It's looking very, very nicely contested here. KR12, first attempt was invalidated. Second attempt, he makes his way to the bus stop chicane. Back on the par. DRS wide open for the Ferrari. It's a 1:45.6. Pretty respectable time there. Right on board with Acer, the Haas driver. His teammate did retire. Acer is putting in his first flying lap of the session. What time is it going to be? It is a pretty decent time indeed. It's a 1:45.3. That is good enough for fourth place at the moment. I dare say potentially good enough to secure him a place in Q2. Just a reminder of how it works. Actually, DXT Viper 5-place grid penalty for a collision. Couldn't see who that collision was with, but it does look like DXT Viper has he hasn't actually set a time yet, but whatever time he does set, he will start 5 places back from where he qualifies. In terms of our drivers who are at risk at the moment, we only take the top 15 with us. We have a couple drivers who are still yet to post lap times, but you can see from Hypnotic Boots onwards, these drivers are very much at risk as we speak, but plenty of time for that to change. We go on board with Ross Wales making his way through Sector 2, Aston Martin driver for tonight. You can see he just lost the rear end there, just coming too quickly back on the par. He does post a 1:46.2. That puts him just above the Mercedes of the best don't mess. 9th place at the moment, safe at the moment, but we still have drivers who are yet to post a lap time. DXT Viper was on a flying lap. He has invalidated his lap again. Looks like DXT Viper is struggling a little bit in this session, but there is a bit of time left, and we do have our second retiree of the session. It is Boscombe Boy. Did not get an opportunity to set a lap time yet, unfortunately. As we go on board with Dirty Chewbacca in the Red Bull. Dirty Chewbacca standing really strong in the Drivers' Championship, so absolutely going to want to continue that momentum as he makes his way through Sector 3. He does have a bit of traffic ahead of him on the AlphaTauri of Kaz 420, who is currently in 14th and looking to improve on their lap. Let's see if we go on board with Kaz 420 as they make their way to the bus stop chicane. Just lost it a little bit, taking a bit too much curb, but keeps the car motoring on. Crosses the line, significantly improves their time of 1:45.3, and Dirty Chewbacca comes by just straight after. It's a 1:45.0. That is good enough for 4th place as it stands. Really, really good. His teammate Count Dooku, potentially at risk at the moment, will proceed through to Q2, but in 13th place he does have a bit of work to do to fully secure that place in Q2. Drivers who are yet to post a time: Hypnotic Butch has not posted a time just yet. And AMG Speeds has retired. Does look like he's retired in the pits. He must feel pretty confident about his lap time. Hypnotic Butch making his way through Sector 2. Well, it goes off there, not sure exactly what's happened there. Seems like Hypnotic Butch is having some issues there. You can see the telemetry data at the bottom. For some reason he wasn't getting full throttle. I don't know if he's just deciding to go again or what's happened. iZombie has also retired from the session and he has not had an opportunity to set a lap time. Really, really unfortunate for iZombie. His teammate also at risk in 15th place as it stands. He's going to have a bit of work to try and get that Alpine through to Q2. And it is marginally down on his best time as he makes his way through to Sector 2. The lap is so long, so there is plenty of opportunity for time to be found through these sectors. So let's see, can he find any time as he makes his way into Sector 3. He has actually lost time. He is now up on his fastest time as he makes his way through Sector 3. Can he recover any of that time, or will he have to go again with just 5 minutes left on the clock? And he just overshoots it in the chicane. Not sure what he's doing. Is he going into the pits? I don't think he can make up his mind either. He decides he's going to have another go. He's only got 35% of ERS power. Is it going to be enough to give him that extra horsepower that he needs on a flying lap? DRS open down the Camel Straight. He is down 0.2 seconds and he goes into the barrier. Unbelievable, just when he was improving on his time. Goes right into the barrier and he's struggling to get the car back on track again. Unbelievable from the Alpine, or the Alpine of Tom Tucker. It's going to put him seriously under pressure. With just 3 minutes left on the clock, I don't think he will get an opportunity to go again. And if that is the case, we will see both Alpines eliminated in Q1. Mecca 84, Williams driver, currently 15th at the moment, will make it through, but still very much at risk. On a final flying lap, I say, making his way down to Eau Rouge and Radion. up the hill onto the Kemmel Straight. DRS open. Making his way into Sector 2. He is down 0.3 seconds on his best time so far. Can he shave off any more time? So far so good for the Williams driver. His teammate in 11th place at the moment. Also on an outlap. Potentially feeling a bit at risk, wanting to make sure that he progresses through to Q2. Oh, goes massively wide there, but was able to keep it within track limits. Oh, it's just struggling a little bit there. You see, he's lost some of that time that he found in Sector 1, but he is still marginally down on his best time. So he makes his way into Sector 3. What time can he find as he makes his way to the bus shop? It's chicane. He shaves 0.1 seconds off his time, but it is not any improvement to his position on the leaderboard. He remains 15th. And as it stands, still at risk. DXT Viper on an outlap. Only on the Kemmel Straight at the moment. With 1 minute left on the clock. It is very much a race against time for DXT Viper, who is at risk of being eliminated. His teammate also on an outlap just ahead of him. He is 13th, so as it stands will progress through to Q2. DXT Viper, on the other hand, has a bit of work to do. There is just 35 seconds left on the clock, and he is still only making his way through Sector 2. This is really going to be tight for DXT Viper, and it looks like we may have a couple of drops of rain, which is going to make things even more interesting. We have rain making its way to the track. That is going to cost DXT Viper some time. 10 seconds left on the clock as he makes his way towards or through Sector 3, and he has not made the track start, and that means he will not get an opportunity to set another flying lap, or it is actually letting him set another flying lap apparently. Okay, we'll take it. Making his way through La Source, turn 1, heading down to Eau Rouge and Radion. Up the hill he goes. Had to lift a little bit there, and you can see he just went too wide, and that lap has been invalidated, and it does mean that unfortunately we will not see the XT Viper progressing through to Q2. Tom Tarker, on the other hand, also has an opportunity off another flying lap. After that unfortunate incident he had, he is making his way down the Kemmel Straight. He has marginally shaved some time off his time. Williams driver Meke may very well be sitting in the pits right now, quite a bit nervous, watching Tom Tarka on his final flying lap. This is a last ditch effort from the Alpine driver to secure himself a place in Q2 as he bombs his way through Sector 2. Goes massively wide there, almost onto the gravel, has to brake quite a bit to avoid going on the gravel, and that's going to cost him some time. And you can see he is up 0.9 seconds on his fastest time. Can he recover any of that? on Sector 3. Oh my god! Unbelievable. What a dramatic end to Q1 with the Alpine driver just absolutely going nuts. You can see the wheel is hanging off that Alpine. And that's one way to end Q1. We are back in Q2 here in Spa, and in typical Spa traditions we have the rain with us for this session. You saw a little bit of rain coming down at the very end of Q1, but that rain has definitely intensified. All of our drivers are in the pits as we speak, which is going to be interesting as they we do have a couple drivers coming out now. Let's see who is coming out. It appears to be the Haas of a SERP. Out on intermediate tyres. Reminder of the drivers that we have with us today. We have both Ferraris, Hypnotic Butch and KR12. We have the Red Bull of Count Dooku and also the Red Bull of Dirty Chewbacca. We have Hans and Meke in the Williams. I the Best Don't Mess is the lone Mercedes driver in Q2. We also have both McLaren's AMG Speeds and R8 Storms. McLaren currently top of the Constructors' Championship, so they're absolutely in the prime spot to try and maximise the amount of points that they can score here in Spa. Equally, we have both Aston Martins, RKA 25 and Ross wheels. We're on board with ASERP at the moment, the lone Haas driver. We have both Alfa Romeos, Luxi and Hunter, and Kaz 420, the lone AlphaTauri in this session. Also, looks like we do have a driver who has come off there. Is it Hunter? Yeah, Hunter has came off. I think he maybe just had an issue there just in the wet. Really, really challenging conditions here for our drivers. Let's see how they fare against the conditions. First driver to set a lap time will be ASERP. Meke 84 and R8 Storms both still in the pits, which is really interesting. You can see the majority of our drivers are out, and I suppose the reason for that is that they probably want to get out and set a lap time now before the rain intensifies, gets worse, and potentially there is a need for the wet tires, which could mean they could set slower lap times. As the Haas goes into La Source, back on the power again. ASERP is heading down towards Eau Rouge, up to Radion, and towards the Kemmel Straight he goes with DRS. Or is there DRS? No, DRS is disabled. So far so good for ASERP. He's managed to keep the car on the track, which is always a positive in the wet conditions. All drivers on the intermediate tires as it stands. No drivers yet are opting for wets. Do have a couple of yellow flags there. The best don't mess. Looks like he had a little spin just as he was about to start his first lap. Going back on board with ASERP as he makes his way through Sector 2 into Sector 3. So far so good for the Haas driver. Don't want to scud him, but he absolutely could set a very, very respectable lap time here if he keeps it up. Into the bus stop chicane. He goes very light on the power, very easy to lose the rear end in dry conditions, never mind in the wet. ASERP crosses with a 156.9, quite a bit off what the drivers were setting in the final session there. Ross Wheels looks like he is coming through. Couple other drivers setting times way off ASERP. Ross Wheels of 157.2. CAS 420 of 157.6, KR12 of 157.6. Also, Dirty Chewbacca comes through with a 155.8. That is a cracking lap time from the Red Bull driver. Really, really good lap time indeed. Let's go on board with Hans. Just crossed the lap there. Looks like his previous lap time was invalidated and he is going again. Let's check on Count Dooku. Who is coming up to the bus stop chicane. He is looking to set a lap time here. Final corner, managing that really, really nicely. What time is it on the board for him? It is a 159.2, quite a bit off the pace of his teammates. Has a bit of work to do to get a better lap time on the board. The best don't mess coming through Sector 3 as we speak. You can see the rain does look like it is intensifying. And it is 2 minutes exactly. Again, quite a bit off the pace for the best don't mess. He's got some work to do. Going on board with R8 Storms, he does have his teammate ahead of him. His teammate is currently second and safe, but R8 Storms is looking to set a lap time. Will his teammate cause any troubles here, or can he get out of the way and allow R8 Storms pass quite nicely? It seems like the McLarens maybe tactically doing this, and AMG Speeds is giving R8 Storms a bit of a tow down the straight there. Will it work? R8 Storms taking it very carefully through that corner. It's a 159 dead for R8 Storms, 8th place at the moment. Quite a bit off his teammate, but there is still over 7 minutes left on the clock. Plenty of time to get a better lap time on the board. Hans in the Williams heading into the pits. Not exactly sure why. Still not putting a lap time on the board just yet. Hunter, also yet to set a lap time, is making his way down the hill in Sector 2. You can see there's definitely some standing water on and beside the track. The rain is definitely intensifying, and these conditions are definitely getting more challenging for our drivers. You can see puddles of water on the track, and Hunter is doing his best to avoid those areas of standing water. He has set the fastest Sector 2 time of the session so far, so really, really promising for Hunter as he looks to navigate his way alongside the dry line. It does look like there is a bit of a dry line forming, and he goes a bit wide there. Lap time invalidated for Hunter. He will need to go again after that really promising attempt. He's making his way into the pits. RKA 25, fastest sector 1 time. Historically, RKA 25 has done really well in qualifying sessions. I don't believe that we've seen RKA 25 in a wet qualifying session, but so far this lap is looking really promising for him as he makes his way down the hill in sector 2. And you can just see just ahead of him the Mercedes of I the Best Don't Mess. Hopefully that shouldn't cause any issues for him. Again, you can just see the standing water on track appears to just be growing, I would say. There is like a hint of a dry line forming, but it's not quite there just yet. RKA 25 comes around the final corner. You can see the back end just coming right out there. Did a good job to keep it under control, but it is only a 1:59.6 and only good enough for 10th. As it stands, RKA 25 still very much at risk, and you can see the Ferrari there of KR12 Tokyo drifting out of the pit lane. Drivers currently at risk as we speak. I the Best Don't Mess, Mecha 84, Luxie and Hans. All of these drivers, with the exception of I the Best Don't Mess, have not set lap times yet. And this is really crucial whenever the conditions are deteriorating and getting worse. There is more standing water on track. Drivers cannot push the cars to the same limits as what they could at the start of the session, which is why it was really crucial that those drivers came out and set their lap times as quickly as possible before the conditions got worse. So these drivers who are at the bottom, who haven't set a lap time, very much at risk and really vulnerable right now, as RKA 25 is on another flying lap. Equally, while he is safe in 10th place, we take the top 10 drivers through to Q3. Still very much at risk if these other drivers come through and set a lap time that is better than his, as he makes his way through sector 2, round a corner and into sector 3 he goes. Sector 2 time, he is up 1.4 seconds on his previous lap time. And again, I think that is just down to the conditions just deteriorating quite dramatically. Goes quite a bit wide there, and his lap time is invalidated. 3 minutes left on the clock. Does he need to head into the pits, or does he go again? It does look like he is just going straight again. Hunter is out on track on full wets actually. The conditions have gotten so much worse that the drivers are needing to opt for the full wets. This is going to be challenging for Hunter to try and set a competitive lap time, but he really does look like he is doing it. He has set the fastest sector 1 time. If he can keep this momentum up, this could be really promising for the Alfa Romeo driver. Maybe the wet tires are what the drivers need to be on if they want to set competitive lap times at this stage. They need to ditch the inters and switch over to the full wets. Hunter going down the hill in sector 2. Keeping in control the Alfa Romeo. Makes his way around the corner into sector 3. Doesn't look like he's got the fastest Sector 2 time. Can he avoid invalidating his lap? Going wide, but he keeps it within track limits. Does a great job to keep it within track limits. He's back at the bus stop chicane. Final 2 corners for Hunter. Really controlled around that last corner. And it is a 158.2 on the full wets. As it stands, he will progress through to Q3. Will that change? Will any of the other drivers have anything to say about it? Luxie, his teammate on a flying lap, hasn't set a lap time yet. He has actually opted for the inters, whereas teammate has opted for the wets. Let's see if that is the right decision or not, as he makes his way through Sector 1 into Sector 2. The rain does look like the intensity has stopped. The track is obviously extremely wet still, and we do have puddles of standing water on track that remain, but it does look like the actual intensity of the rain has calmed down quite a bit, which is good. Looks he making his way down the hill in Sector 2. His teammate just set a time on the full wet tyres, good enough for P8. Can he get himself up there? Hans has set a time on the full wets, but quite a bit off the pace. Hopefully it looks like they may be going again. Looks he really under pressure to get this one right and make sure that he can set a respectable time in challenging conditions. Becky 84 across the checkered flag and will not progress through to Q3. His teammate still has a chance. Luxie, final corner. And just goes just above his teammates. That is Alfa Romeo 8 and 9. Very respectable time indeed. RKA 25, 0.7 seconds down on his time, currently at risk. Is it enough? It is potentially enough. 9th place, Hunter at risk. Can Hans do anything about it? 0.7 seconds down on his time as he makes his way through into Sector 2. Goes massively wide there. Probably lost a bit of time. Will Hans be able to make it into Q3? It doesn't look like it. He has lost a lot of time there in Sector 2. There is still time to be found in Sector 3, but he is up against it. It looks like we may not see both Williams drivers in Q3. Oh, he just locks up, goes completely wide. That has cost him dearly. And it does look like we will not see both Williams drivers progressing through as Hans crosses the line. That is the end of our Q2 session. Very dramatic session. The rain at the start of the session, and it just continued to get worse as the session went on. Stick with us as we make our way through to Q3 top 10 shootout, and let's find out what driver will gain pole position here in Spa. we are back for our final qualifying session here in Spa. You can see that we still have the rain with us, and this is going to make it a very interesting fight for pole position, as we have our top 10 drivers from our qualifying session so far. And let's just get all the information that you need. Okay, so just a reminder of the drivers that we have in the session so far. We have both Ferraris. We have both Ferraris, Hypnotic Butch and KR12. We have AMG Speeds in the McLaren, but he is not joined with his teammate. Unfortunately, we have both Aston Martins, RKA 25 and Ross Wales, the Red Bull of Dirty Chewbacca and the Haas of Acerp. We also have both Alfa Romeos and the AlphaTauri of CAS 420. Now, in terms of the tyre choice, it does look like our drivers are all on the intermediates for now. Looks like KR12 has fitted the soft tyres, but is currently still in the pits, so whether he commits to that decision or not, we will find out. But track conditions still don't look great. There is still quite a bit of rain going down, and I think those intermediates are still needed at this stage. CAS 420 has overtook Luxie on the outlap, so CAS 420 will be the first driver to set a flying lap in this session, and he will set the benchmark for other drivers. Let's see what he can do. That's right, on board with CAS 420 as he starts the first flying lap of the session, heading towards La Source. Slows right down, close to the apex of that corner. Back on the power he goes as he makes his way towards Eau Rouge. Down the Camel Straight the AlphaTauri driver goes. And we have Hunter 55 disqualified from the session for facing the wrong way. That is really, really unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo driver. Had a lot of potential to do really well in this session alongside his teammate Luxie. And now it seems like it's all in the hands of Luxie to really maximise track position for Alfa Romeo in this session. And so far everything is looking good for CAS 420 as he makes his way into Sector 3. Really, really solid lap from CAS 420 so far. Into the bus stop chicane. Gento back on the power. Great job from CAS 420, and he sets the first lap of the session. It's a 1:55.6. This is the time that all the other drivers are aiming for. Luxie about to cross the line. What time will he get? It is a 1:56.5, just a bit off CAS 420. Dirty Chewbacca coming round with a 1:55.2. He does have provisional pole as it stands. Ross Wales comes round. His previous lap attempt was invalidated and he will need to go again. As it stands, the Red Bull of Dirty Chewbacca is on provisional pole. And what a lap that was from the Red Bull driver. Indeed, it seems like he is at one with these conditions. Unbelievable attempt from him. AMG Speeds also had an invalidated lap and needs to go again as he starts second flying lap attempt. Interestingly, we do have a couple of drivers who are still in the pits, and as you can see from the conditions, the rain has actually stopped, and it does look like this was a very strategic decision from these drivers. KR12 still with the soft tires on his car, and he may need them because the track could very well dry up in time for them to set a real flying lap on the slick tires. But with just 6 minutes left on the clock, it will be down to the wire, and it's going to be really down to which driver is prepared to wait it out the longest. It's almost going to be like a bit of a Mexican standoff. Ross Wheels making his way into Sector 3 on a flying lap. Just 3 drivers have set times in this session so far. Let's see what time Ross can do. Into a bus stop chicane. Very gentle on the power. And Ross is a 1:56 dead. That is good enough for third place as it stands. AMG Speeds coming through Sector 3. That lap does appear to have been invalidated, so he will need to go again. I'm not sure if he needs to take a visit to the pits or not. It does look like he's heading into the pits. Potentially an opportunity for him to change into a slick tire. Acer starting flying lap, opted for the soft tires. Is the track ready for soft tires? We will find out, but so far so good for the Haas driver. It is a 1:55.2. That is the time that he is aiming for as he makes his way up Eau Rouge and through Radillon. See, the back end was thinking about giving in there just a little bit, but he did excellently to keep the car under control. I'm sure the track conditions are still a bit greasy. As he sets the fastest Sector 1 time, this was absolutely the right decision for these drivers who are still in the pits to hold off and set a time when it dries up. These drivers who have set times will need to go back out again on the slick tires if they want to remain competitive. As Acerp comes through Sector 2, down the hill he goes. That is another purple sector time for the Haas driver. With less than 3 minutes on the clock. He's making his way towards the bus stop chicane. Hitting those apexes really nicely. Back on the par quite quickly. DRS open. And it is a 1:52 dead. He has shaved 3 seconds off the previous fastest time. As we have drivers who are out on their out laps. RKA 25 on an out lap as we speak. Has also opted for those soft tires now. Through the bus stop chicane he goes. And he looks to start his first flying lap of the session as he heads down the straight towards the source. That track does look like it's dried up. really, really nicely indeed. The RS Open. Can he beat Acerp's previous fastest Sector 1 time? He can. That is a purple Sector 1 time for RKA 25. Really, really strong in previous qualifying sessions. Looks like he is strong in this session. Using every part of the track he can to maximize speed he can carry through those corners. As he heads towards Sector 3. That is another purple sector time. He is absolutely beaten Acerp's time. Acerp comes through again, beats his own time at 1:47.3. Dirty Chewbacca still in the pits. Not sure what is going on there. He is going to just drop down the pecking order as RKA 25 heads towards the checkered flag. It is a 1:45.2. There is still time for drivers to set times, but they're going to be up against it. Luxty. Has shaved 9 seconds off his time so far. And he sets provisional pole. 1:44.9. What an unbelievable lap from Luxty. Really, really, really impressive from the Alfa Romeo driver. Hypnotic Butch around the final corner. What time is it going to be for Hypnotic Butch? It is provisional pole for Hypnotic Butch. A 1:44.7. This is an unbelievable end. And Cas 420 comes down fourth. AMG Speeds cannot put the lap together good enough. 8th place. KR12 making his way around Sector 3, yet to set a lap time. This is his final chance. What can he do? Bus stop chicane he goes. 2 final corners left. KR12, 4th place. Acerp takes 4th place off KR12, drops down to 5th. Ross Wales has his lap time invalidated. RKA is not improving on his previous lap time, so it does look like Hypnotic Butch in the Ferrari has taken pole position here in Spa in what has been a dramatic end to qualifying. That is the end of qualifying. Stick with us as we progress through to our race, which is set to be a really exciting one. Hello everyone, and we are back with Division 2 RIZE Racing League here in Spa. Hypnotic Butch in the Ferrari takes us off on the formation lap. You can see there is a mix of tyre strategies here. We do have Hypnotic Butch and Luxie, who have both opted for the soft tyres, while RKA25 has opted for the medium tyre. From Acerb down to Dirty Chewbacca, they have opted for softs. Ross Wheels, MG Speeds has opted for the medium tyre. Hunter, soft tyre, and you can see there is a couple more medium tyres, R8 Storms and both Williams. The predicted pit stop strategy, it is a one stop, soft to medium or soft to hard. So it'll be really interesting to see how the strategy affects the race today. Hypnotic Butch moving from side to side, trying to generate some heat into those tyres. He's going to want to get those tyres in the optimal position and get away from the pack off the start line really quite quickly and through turn 1 without any incidents. We know historically Spa can be really tricky to get through turn 1 without any incidents. We did manage it in Division 1 last night, however, so let's hope for the same tonight. Following the dramatic qualifying session, the weather does appear to have calmed down. We are back in sunny conditions here in Spa. Will it stay sunny, or is there a threat of rain? We will find out as we progress through the race. Hypnotic Butch takes his place on the grid. DXT Viper, last driver to place his car on the grid, 20th place, just behind Boscombe Boy. And we're waiting for those 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. Are our drivers going away, or what is happening? We do have Hypnotic Butch, who has a drive-through penalty for a jump start already. The drivers do get away. So far, all is well. We do have drivers coming off. Just looks a bit chaotic here at the start. R8 Storms up 6 places already. What an unbelievable start from R8 Storms, but he is under pressure from the Alfa Romeo of Hunter and Dirty Chewbacca. RKA25 is putting KR12 under pressure. KR12 is up 2 places. Again, you have our predicted pit stop strategy. We do have a virtual safety car coming out. Not sure exactly what has happened here. Kaz 420 has dropped down quite significantly, down 12 places. He has had a really unfortunate start there. Boscombe Boy, his teammate, down in 19th. Boscombe Boy without a front wing, you can see, and it looks like Tom Tarka is coming off the track as well. Really not too sure what is going on here. But Hypnotic Butch has cleared quite a gap alongside Luxie with KR12 4.5 seconds away as the virtual safety car comes to an end. RKA25 is just 0.6 seconds behind KR12, and he is under pressure from R8 Storms. There is quite a bit going on here. It's kind of hard to follow. Luxie just 0.2 seconds as he heads down. It looks like Hypnotic Butch is going in to serve his drive-through penalty, I assume that is, which gives Luxie first place We do have a couple of drivers who are going into the pits. R8 Storm's also going into the pits. Not sure exactly what that is for. That's quite an early pit stop. He must have some damage. KR12 up 3 places into second, but he is under pressure from RKA25, who is going to get one hell of a slipstream as he goes through Eau Rouge Radion. You can see he's just gaining on that Ferrari. Moves to the side. He's using his ERS for extra horsepower. Dirty Chewbacca has retired from the session, and Tom Tarka is disqualified for blocking the pit lane. We have a virtual safety car as RKA25 just about gets the overtake done on KR12. This is really quite dramatic as we have another virtual safety car coming out. Not sure what has happened there, but Tom Tarka was disqualified for blocking the pit lane, and Dirty Chewbacca has also retired. It looks like you can see the car there just off Radion, so potentially lost it going up the hill there. Really unfortunate for the Red Bull driver, who absolutely was in a great place in the driver's standings and really needed to continue that momentum. His teammate is up 5 places. Count Dooku up 5 places in the 7th, in a great spot as it stands, and has plenty of opportunity to continue, although he does get a drive-through penalty for speeding under virtual safety car conditions, as do a couple of other drivers. What are those penalties? We have Boscombe Boy and Count Dooku with drive-through penalties. Really unfortunate for those drivers. Luxty has created quite a bit of a gap to RKA25. RKA25 now 3.6 seconds behind Luxty. So Luxty is running a fantastic race so far. As you can see, he's just set another fastest lap. KR12 just 0.5 seconds behind RKA25, who just got the overtake on KR12 just as the virtual safety car came out. We started with 20 drivers. We are now down to 17 drivers. We have two retirees and 1 driver who has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. Not exactly sure what's happened, as KR12 does get DRS. Count Dooku DRS, but Acerp also has DRS. These drivers are absolutely neck and neck right now. AMG Speeds looking to gain on Hunter, but is under quite a bit of pressure from Acerp, who is just 0.3 seconds off him. Hypnotic Boots also right behind Ross Wales, 0.9 seconds after serving his drive-through penalty for jump start at the start of the race. All I can say is thank God we made it through the 5 red lights without having that stupid safety car glitch coming out. Hypnotic Boots places a bit of wheel on the curb there and almost loses it. Does a great job to keep it under control. Acerp using some ERS power. He goes a bit wide, loses it. That gives Count Dooku an opportunity to creep up behind him. He will use the slipstream right beside Acerp. Acerp goes wide to avoid a bit of collision there. Count Dooku slips in behind the Haas driver for now, but will get the advantage of DRS. Boscombe Boy has retired from the session, and actually Count Dooku jumps into the pits. It looks like an early pit stop for Count Dooku, potentially covering off any threat of an undercut from the Haas driver. Acerp 0.7 seconds off AMG Speeds as he makes his way up through Eau Rouge and Radion. AMG Speeds just loses traction. That gives Acerp the opportunity to slide past the McLaren driver and up into 5th place. RKA25 is closing the gap on Luxty, but is still 2.8 seconds off. He is under quite a bit of pressure from KR12, 0.5 seconds behind the Aston Martin driver. So really at this stage, RKA25 can't put a lot of focus on what's ahead of him, and really what he needs to do is try and put a lot of effort into defending behind him and trying to keep that Ferrari driver at bay as he makes his way through Sector 2 The advantage that RKA12 or RKA25 has is that he is on medium tyres. They're going to last quite a bit longer than KR12 soft tyres. Really, the life is going to be sucked out of those tyres in a couple of laps time, and he will need to go into the pits. So really, KR12 needs to try and take advantage of the tyre situation now, and he is gaining 0.5 seconds on RKA25. He does brake quite late there, and he will get DRS. Again, RKA25 pulls off quite a bit. He does set the fastest lap time in the process as both drivers make their way through to La Source. Hypnotic Butch is gaining on DXT Viper. He will get DRS as well on the Mercedes driver. It's Ferrari versus Mercedes. Will Hypnotic Butch come out on top? He goes side by side with the Mercedes driver. Gets the overtake done, but not without a fight. DXT Viper just slots right behind in 8th place as they make their way up through Radion and towards the Kemmel Straight. He is using his ERS. He will get DRS as well. He is gaining, but is he close enough? He goes. Oh, he was having to think about it, but really made the right decision to back off there last minute. KR12 still keeps the fight with the Aston Martin driver of RKA25, 0.9 seconds off him. That's really the closest fight that we have. It's between KR12 and RKA25. And also DXT Viper and Hypnotic Butch, but that gap is closing quite significantly. It does look like DXT Viper is struggling a little bit with the car. Again, he is on those soft tyres and potentially will need to think about a pit stop in the coming laps. Again, KR12, the gap is increasing. And at this stage, KR12 is now out of DRS range. He will need to consider pit stopping in the next few laps, and he does. He jumps into the pits. He must have felt that his pace was quite a bit off there, and what that does is that allows RKA25 the opportunity to close the gap to Luxty, which he absolutely does. It is now down to 1.6 seconds. He does not need to worry about anyone coming from behind him because Acerp is now 7 seconds behind him. And it is a 1.5 second gap between RKA25 and Luxty. So RKA25 did not have the most ideal start to the race, but is absolutely looking to fight for that race winning position. AMG speeds 0.7 seconds behind Acerp as he makes his way down the Kemmel Straight and into Sector 2, 0.8 seconds, trying to put some pressure on the Haas driver, who is currently in 3rd place. R8 Storms now putting pressure on KR12. Both drivers have pitted, although KR12 has pitted more recently. You can see Storms 3-lap old medium tyres versus KR12's fresh tyres. KR12 does get a 3-second time penalty for track limits. And RKA25 has brought the gap down to 0.9 seconds. He will get DRS as he make a way through the bus stop chicane. It looks like Luxty has gone into the pits, and RKA25 can now power on in P1. The advantage of starting on the medium tyres. Luxty in the medium tyres. What tyres they got for him? They have medium tyres waiting for him in the Alfa Romeo garage. He comes out of the pits, and you can see the Ferrari of Hypnotic Butch just passing him. All of the drivers do appear to have bunched out quite a bit now. The closest fight that we have is between Acerp and KR12 as they make their way up through Radion. Acerp down to Kemmel Straight, DRS, ERS. He is using every ounce of power that he has, and he is gaining, but he's not gaining fast enough. He has narrowed the gap down to 0.5 seconds, and he does have company behind him. R8 Storms is keeping the Haas driver honest. Haas driver, 0.3 seconds. We do have a yellow flag. It looks like we have Luxty. Not sure if he has spun out there, what the issue was, but he has. He started to go a bit slow there. KR12 has caught up to Count Dooku in the Red Bull. Red Bull driver now up 6 places, but under threat from KR12, who is looking to make a move in the bus stop chicane. Goes massively wide there, or brakes very late, and gets the overtake done. Acerp looking to take advantage of the situation as well. Side by side, he is on the outside of the Red Bull. He's going to have to go wide through La Source, and the Red Bull is looking to push him off a little bit. But the Haas comes out on top, and Count Dooku drops 2 places there. Count Dooku will get the advantage going up Radion. He will get DRS, and so does the Haas. These drivers are neck and neck. Not one driver giving an inch. The Red Bull driver has to go wide over the curb, and the Haas driver again comes out on top. R8 Storms almost just kind of watching this fight unfold from a very calm standpoint, just waiting for the right opportunity to strike. That was a really exciting fight there between those drivers. R8 Storms closing the gap, 0.4 seconds on Count Dooku. I wonder if tire wear is having an impact on this. It absolutely is. Count Dooku on 7-lap old soft tires. He is absolutely going to need to come in for a pit stop, and after losing 2 places and under threat for another place, I dare say he will be coming into the pits on this lap. Going a bit wide there, you can see the tires are struggling for grip, although he does get a bit of a slipstream from the Haas driver. He is trying to make a move. He is just a bit too far off at this stage. And he is not going into the pits just yet. He is relishing this fight. He gets DRS. The Haas driver does not get DRS. This is going to be a really, really exciting battle here as the drivers make their way towards Eau Rouge. Up Radion. You can see he's gaining on the slipstream. Count Dooku gets DRS. Haas driver will not get the advantage of DRS at this stage. It is 3 wide. Oh! The Red Bull driver gets caught by the wing of R8 Storm, spins. R8 Storms continues to battle with Acerp, and Count Dooku has to rejoin the track again. That is really, really unfortunate. He has just lost out in what just appears to be a really tight battle between those 3 drivers. In other news, RKA 25 still yet to pit, but also AMG Speeds, Hypnotic Butch and Hans also yet to pit. I believe RKA 25 is the only driver on... No, actually I'm wrong. AMG Speeds also on the medium tyre. Hypnotic Butch is on the soft tyre. He'll need to think about coming in shortly. And Hans on the medium tyre. The medium tyre strategy definitely seems to be working really well for these drivers. They're going to look to make it a one-stop race, I imagine. And you can see the gap between the drivers as well. RKA 25 has an 11-second gap to AMG Speeds, and both drivers need to pit, so RKA 25 very much in a very comfortable position at this stage. R8 Storms in 8th place, up 3 places from where he started the race, 1.5 seconds behind Acerb, who is down 3 places from where they started. Looks like Count Dooku is going into the pits. Thankfully does not need a front wing replacement, but does switch off those soft tyres for a set of hard tyres, and again we imagine that is going to see him through to the end of the race. iZombie coming in. Looks like the Alpine team do have a set of medium tyres. Again, potentially could make it last if he really wants to manage those tyres really well. He has made the soft tyre last 10 laps after all, so absolutely could make the medium tyre last 100%. Looks to now up into the podium places after a really unlucky start. Just got caught up in a couple of incidents. He is down 1 place from where he started, but I'm sure he will be happy with P3 as it stands. We are only halfway through the session, so there's plenty of opportunity for things to change, as KR12 has come off the track. Not exactly sure what has happened for the Ferrari driver. He is trying to rejoin the track in a safe manner. He does have some traffic coming towards him, the Williams off hands, but he has rejoined the track. I'm sure those tyres will be overheating and not giving him the traction that he needs at this stage, so he just needs to take it quite easy. Hans will be looking to get an overtake done on the Ferrari driver, taking advantage of him while he is vulnerable. At the moment he is not. He's gone a bit wide there, and he's going to hold off as the drivers make their way through the bus stop chicane. Williams driver will get DRS as KR12 gets another 3-second time penalty. KR12, good defending there to hold off the Williams. Hands on fresh soft tyres. I'm not sure that those soft tyres will last to the end of the race. Correct me if I'm wrong. Who knows? But he may need to do another pit stop as he gets DRS on the Ferrari. Oh, there's a bit of contact there as KR12 goes wide. Hunter is watching from the back. Hypnotic Butch has come across and set the fastest lap time of the session so far. Hunter just 1.3 seconds off KR12, who is 1.5 seconds off the Williams of Hans. So drivers head towards Eau Rouge. The gap is closing between KR12 and Hunter. Now just 1 second between the two drivers. Hunter is putting in some solid lap times to close the gap between them. As RKA 25 jumps into the pits. AMG Speed's also going into the pits. Where will RKA 25 come out? Luxty heading down the main straight. RKA 12 is coming out off the pits, and it looks like he does get ahead off Luxty with a 3.5 or actually a 5 second gap, and also on fresh tyres. How about that from RKA 25, who is leading an absolutely fantastic race so far. Luxty up into P2, Acerp in P3 with AMG Speeds just 1.7 seconds off and on some fresh tyres as well. AMG Speeds is absolutely making this strategy work for him. We have our Storms coming into the pits. He looks like he's just come out of the pits. Hunter is in the pits. And Aria Storms is chasing down KR12. And on some fresh softs versus the used mediums of KR12. AMG Speeds is catching up to Acerp for that final podium spot. 0.4 seconds gap is. Both drivers do have time penalties. 9 seconds for AMG Speeds and just 3 seconds for Acerp. That could absolutely make the difference with just a quarter of the race left to go. AMG Speeds is getting really close, just 0.1 seconds. Is he thinking about a move down the bus stop chicane? It does look like it, but he does back off. He will get DRS here coming up, and he is on the faster, fresher tyres out of the two drivers. Actually, he doesn't get, I'm not sure why he doesn't have DRS enabled, but he should have. He is gaining. He's got one hell of a slipstream. He's got DRS this time on the Haas driver. That did not look like clean defending from Acerp. Looks like he moved more than once under braking, and that did spook AMG Speeds, as you can imagine, into making the overtake, as he did not know what way the driver was going to go. As it stands, AMG Speeds will be behind Acerp, but he has plenty of opportunity to get that overtake done. Oh, he just puts a bit too much wheel on the curb there and loses a bit of ground to Acerp. We have Meke off. That is not ideal for the Williams driver, who is last. It does look like their teammate is coming round, and Hans does come round to lap Meke, who has had an unfortunate spin there. And we have a DNF for Hunter, who has gone off on the Kemmel Straight. Really, really unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo driver. Cars 420 is coming up Eau Rouge towards the Kemmel Straight. Will he see Hunter's car? Does look like the stewards have done a fantastic job of clearing that car very quickly. AMG Speeds is ahead of Acerb as the drivers make their way up Eau Rouge, past Radion, and into the Kemmel Straight. Acerb does have the RS. But AMG Speeds keeps ahead of the Haas driver for now. This is an incredible fight between these two drivers for the final podium spot, with really not a lot of laps left to go, just 8 laps left to go. KR12 is also putting Count Dooku under pressure. The Red Bull driver is under pressure as KR12 gets DRS. And he gets an overtake done on the Red Bull and also sets the fastest Sector 1 time in the process. RKA25 is absolutely just leading a really comfortable race here. He is now 12 seconds clear of P2 and just absolutely leading. Just looks too easy, too effortless for the Aston Martin driver. Looks like Hypnotic Butch is gaining on Acerb there. And Acerb is not prepared to give up that fight with AMG Speeds, although I do say that AMG Speeds does have the upper hand with the fresher tyres. Hypnotic Butch has brought that gap down to 0.5 seconds. Acerb is under significant pressure here from the Ferrari driver. Looks like we have a yellow flag out in Sector 3. And it's cleared. 0.4 seconds separates Acerb and Hypnotic Butch. Hypnotic Butch is getting a slipstream advantage on that Haas. Don't think he's close enough to get a move done. He was thinking about it though. Through the bus stop chicane they go. The Ferrari will have DRS over the Haas. Not sure why the DRS. He should have DRS. Anyway, he gets a nice slipstream from the Haas driver. No way, they're going neck and neck. Ferrari just gets the overtake done as they go through Eau Rouge and Radion. Acerb fighting back with DRS. Side by side with the Ferrari. And ahead of the Ferrari again into Sector 2. What an unbelievable fight this is from Acerb and Hypnotic Butch. There is just 4 laps left to go. who will come out on top. It's Ferrari power versus Ferrari power. Ferrari versus Haas. Hypnotic Boot still 0.5 seconds behind. He does get DRS. You see, it just doesn't seem to be shown on the stream for some reason. Again, another fight up towards Eau Rouge. Hypnotic Boot holding off as they make it through Radion towards the Camel Straight. He will get DRS. And it looks like he is trying to get the overtake done on Acerp and does get the overtake done. Hypnotic Boots back up into 4th place and Acerp down into 5th. We do have yellow flags out. Not sure exactly what happened there. Gap increasing between Hypnotic Booch and Acerp. 1 second gap. Acerp is falling out of DRS range. Gap has decreased down to 0.7 seconds, and that does mean that the Haas driver will get DRS. This is one hell of a battle between these two drivers. You can see Hypnotic Boots does appear to be pulling away a little bit. Let's have a look at what penalties these drivers have. Acerp, just 3 second penalty. Hypnotic Booch, just 3 seconds. AMG Speeds does have a 12 second penalty that would drop him out of the last podium spot and down and give the position to either AMG or either Hypnotic Booch or Acerp. Hans also 11 seconds of time penalties. R8 Storms is keeping Hans honest, 1.8 seconds behind. Hasn't really been a successful race for Kaz 420, who is down in 12th place as it stands. Not exactly sure what has gone wrong for Kaz, who has dropped down 6 places from where they started. Really unfortunate, because they are obviously top of the Drivers' Championship at the moment. We just hope that obviously they can make a comeback in the coming races. R8 Storms has closed the gap to 1 second and continues to close it down. These drivers could be battling up the Eau Rouge. There's just 2 laps left. Can R8 Storms get a move? On Hans, he will have DRS. And he is absolutely gaining on the Williams. And the McLaren makes that look effortless. And that is R8 Storms up into 6th. and Hans down to 7th. In the battle between Hypnotic Butch and Acerp, the gap is now 3 seconds between the two drivers, so it does look like Hypnotic Butch has been able to get away quite nicely there and win that battle between Ferrari and Haas. And we are on to the final lap. RK25 has literally created a 25-second gap between himself and P2. What an unbelievable race he's had. Up 2 places, had a bit of a rocky start, but has absolutely made it look effortless from his recovery. Just a few more corners to go, and he will be able to claim a win here in Spa. As R8 storms DNFs, what a shock. On the final lap, R8 storms DNFs up in Radion. Must have just lost. You can see him out there on the side in the barriers. Unbelievable from the McLaren driver. As RK25 heads towards the bus stop chicane, the Aston Martin driver will add another win to his collection. As he crosses the checker flag, it's a win for RK25. Luxty still has a couple more corners to go before he crosses the line, but he will take P2 in what has been a fantastic race for Luxy. Started 2nd place, finishes 2nd place. Again, not without its challenges, but has drove a fantastic race here today in Spa. AMG Speeds crosses the line P3, but with penalties may drop. Acerp crossing the line P4. And we'll stay P4. Hypnotic Butch P5. Hans P6. AMG Speeds up 6 places from where he started. What a fantastic race he had, and again another fabulous strategy in terms of tyre management. KR12 crosses the line, 7th place for Ferrari. Count Dooku up 4 places from where he started. 8th place, his teammate had an unfortunate retirement, but he will cross the line P8. As iZombie will be the last driver to cross the line in 9th place. iZombie crossing the line and sees the checker flag. That's it for us this week in Spa RIZE Racing League Division 2. We will be back same time next week where we are racing in Zandvoort. Will be an exciting race there too. We know the weather can be unpredictable, so stay tuned, stick with us next week for another exciting race. Thank you.